Welcome to the 5-day challenge. We're going to start stretching in the standing position, the back outside of our leg, the lateral hamstring. So I'm just going to get something to balance my body. So if you have a chair, couch, or a wall nearby, we're going to take a step forward. I'm doing my left leg and bend both knees comfortably. Okay. Turn that front leg out slightly. Just turn it out slightly. And we're going to, for resistance, pull the heel back. Pull that leg back, and you'll feel the back of your leg engage. Keep pulling it back. Keep resisting as you fold forward for the stretch, then let it go. Pull your heel back. You can flex that front foot. You want to keep those ribs in your body, and as you fold forward, keep your head up. Pull that heel back, and let it go. So we're focusing on the lateral hamstring, the bladder meridian, helps to improve the health of our bones and an important part of our immune system. So pull the heel back. You can tuck your tailbone or just keep your hips level. It adds more force. The whole idea here is to create resistance while we lengthen a muscle, to engage the fascia, change the fascia, strengthen the muscle, realign our leg. Let it go. Breathing in and out through your nose. Healthy way to breathe. Stay with that resistance, then let it go. And then reposition yourself anytime you want to try a different position. Turn your foot out a little more. Bring the legs closer together. But the focus is the lateral hamstring, and that's on the back and back outside of your leg. And on the lower leg, it attaches just to the outside below your knee. A couple more. Stay with it, and then let it go. Start in the standing position. You're upright. Pull the heel back. Keep pulling the heel back, and let it go. Okay, all right, shake the leg out a little bit. See what you notice from one side to the other. And then let's do the other side. So just a small step forward. You can see I'm not stepping my foot forward very much, although I may change the position. Foot's turned out very little because that'll engage that lateral hamstring, and let it go. You can turn your foot out quite a bit, and the more you turn it out, the more sensation you'll feel, but you won't have as much resistance. So we're going, this whole technique we do is to find the path of greatest resistance, and it's not a balancing act, so hold on to something so you're able to resist fully, okay? Pull your heel back, pull your heel back. So try different positions with your foot, turning it out more, turning it out less, and see which creates the greatest force. Now, it's not the feeling you have or the sensation that is going to change the tissue. It's the resistive force. And even though you don't feel anything necessarily, it's tough tissue back here, that doesn't mean it's not happening. It actually is happening. Resist, 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 and let it go. So this stretch is great for back pain in general. Compression of the spine. This has the biggest impact on the positioning of the spine in terms of movement between the joints. Let it go. Pull your heel back, pull your heel back, pull your heel back. Keep those ribs in your body, and then let it go. The cues or the instructions are just simply to reduce substitution, to create more force without necessarily, giving more effort, although you can do that. Because we know it's challenging work, the resistance stretching. So you want to get the biggest return you can. Let it go. Let's do a few more. Stay with it, stay with it, and let it go. Square those hips. And then where does your attention go in your own body? And where your attention goes, whether it's your hips, your shoulders, your neck, is usually your body telling you it wants to make an adjustment. Turn slightly left, slightly right. Okay. All right. Shake that out. See what you notice. I'm noticing an open hip in the front. Even though we didn't stretch the front, the back can shorten a little better. Let's do a medial hamstring stretch, 2 legs at once. So we're going to have about shoulder width. Bend those knees. Feet, if you're just starting, it's probably more comfortable turning your feet out slightly. We're going to squeeze our heels together. Squeeze those heels together, right? And these medial hamstrings fire. Keep squeezing your heels together while you fold forward. Let it go. Squeeze the heels together. You can also press your hands together. And what that does, it helps to quiet your torso. It actually improves and increases the resistive force in the stretch. So this is the pancreas muscle group. It improves the health of our pancreas, our enzyme production throughout our body. It's great for the hip joint. Anything going on in the arch of our foot. This is a stretch you want to do, say for plantar fasciitis. Squeeze those heels together, squeeze those heels together. Keep the ribs in your body. Tailbone tucked to the side view. Squeeze together, bring the ribs in to increase the resistance. Reduce substitution. Now, if you've been doing it with us, some members for a while here, you can turn your feet straight ahead, or you can even turn them in a little bit. That increases the force, but like I said, if you're new to it, you want to be in the most comfortable position. Let's do a few more. Stay with that resistance. Stay with the resistance. Okay, all right, shake it out. And then where does your attention go? My attention goes right to the chest, open chest. Legs are a little closer. Okay, back to the lateral hamstring. Back to the lateral hamstring. We're going to do a shorter set. So I'll get the left leg forward. Comfortably bend those knees. Turn that leg out slightly. Pull that heel back. Pull that heel back. And what do you notice from the first round to the second round here? More force, a better engagement of the lateral hamstring. Pull that heel back. Pull that heel. Square those hips. Where does your attention go? Let it go. Keep the head moving with the torso. Don't let the head drop. You'll feel the resistance drop when you lower your head. Stay with it. Stay with it. Breathing in and out through our nose. Let's do like 3 more. And then we're going to switch, same leg, we're going to just switch positions. Okay, so now we're going to cross over that same leg. So I'm going to put, I need balance. You need balance on the side of the leg you're stretching, so on the left side. Bring the foot in front or a little outside of your back leg, and same thing. Pull your heel back, and fold forward. So we're still going after the same muscle group, right? Same muscle group, but it's muscles in a longer position. It's more toward the end range. So pull your heel back, tuck your tailbone, stay with it, and let it go. So if you're new to this, you can probably feel how much force there is and how much effort you're giving, because your body's able to create many times the force in resistance, strengthening, elongating a muscle, versus like strength training, shortening the muscle. So you get much stronger doing these kind of movements than you would in the gym lifting weights. Pull your heel back, Let's do 3 more. And so, right, I'm noticing the back quad. The back leg is burning more. Let it go. Okay, shake that out. See what you notice. Softer foot, looser ankle. Great for the ankles, the bladder stretch. And the shoulders nice and open. So just check out. It's always nice to see what happens after you do a stretch. I can feel this leg isn't caught up yet. So let's do a bladder stretch on the right. Comfortably bend both knees. Slightly turn that front leg out and pull the heel back. Pull the heel back and fold forward for the stretch. Then let it go. Breathing in and out through our nose. Stay with it, stay with it. So we have a muscle group we're stretching, which is the back outside of our leg. And then we have the resistive force coming through our heel, pulling the leg back, pulling the leg back. And so when you focus on those two things, then where does your attention go? Maybe you want to bend your knee more, maybe you want to reposition your leg. Okay. Let's change that foot position. So I'm going to bring the support, or just turn yourself around if you're near a wall. Bring that leg in front or across, okay? I find I have to bend my legs more in this position so that that back quad doesn't burn as much. But the back quad burns because it's creating an oppositional force. You see that heel is pulling back toward your leg, and so that back leg would naturally go toward the force of your stretching leg. Let it go. So it's a traditional strength movement for the front outside of your leg, which is why it's burning. Stay with it. Keep those ribs in. Keep those ribs in. We're going after the lateral hamstring. Tuck that tailbone a little more. And sometimes when you start to feel more and more sensation, you might be kind of losing your position or not resisting enough, because you're always able to generate more and more force. And as you do, it's typical for the sensation to be less, because you're deeper into that fascial tissue, dense tissue on the back of the body. Okay, all right. Shake that out a little bit, see what you notice. Legs and hips are feeling really loose, shoulders are open and back. Now we're going to go onto the mat and we're going to go into the traps, back of the neck, and shoulders. This is our immune system. It's a Thymus stretch. Improves the health of your lymph nodes and white blood cells. And so we're going to be on our knees. You want to tuck your toes under, and then your forearms are down on the mat and with your palms up. They don't have to be parallel to each other. The hands are usually a little bit closer to each other than the elbows. Sit back to begin. Press the arms down and forward. Keep pressing the arms down and forward as you move forward for the stretch. Relax on the way back. Press those arms down and forward. Keep that resistive force as you move forward, and then let it go. So it's ribs, okay? You want to maybe arch up like a cat to help keep your ribs in your body. So the first thing we do when we go back into the start position is arms. Arms down and forward, and then keep pressing down and forward as you move forward. If you can get your feet back against the wall, that'll give you maybe a little more resistive force. That would be an oppositional force for you. Let it go. Maybe you can already feel your body start to warm up. When we get a fever in our body, that's our immune system turning on. So you can do this stretch or a version of this stretch anytime you want. If you feel cold coming on, or you want to go after inflammation in your body, Let it go. Drive those arms forward, and relax on the way back. Breathing in and out through our nose. So the idea of this week's challenge is to stretch primarily the muscles that have the toughest tissue, that are tightest in our body. And that's along the back of our body. So this is on the back and outside of our shoulders. Okay. All right, just check that out. Shake those arms and neck. See what you notice. A little looser neck. And your thymus gland is right about here in your chest. If you put your hand there, that should be very, very warm. Okay, we're going to do a set of appendix for our lats to balance the thymus and then come back to the thymus. So same position, but we're starting with our bodies forward. So forearms down, palms up, lean forward, okay? And now pull your arms back toward your knees. Pull them back toward your knees as you sit back. And then let it go and come forward. And again, reposition your arms. They might be a little too close to your knees, so they want to come a little forward. So a nice starting position would be your shoulders over your elbows or even in front of your elbows, closer to your hands. Keep those ribs up in your body. Breathing in and out through your nose. So this is improving the health of our appendix, and the appendix hyperoxygenates our brain, takes toxins out of our face and brain. Resist, let it go. And you may read somewhere where it creates prebiotics in the body. I'm not so sure about that. Pull those arms back, but I'm certain about the oxygenation of the brain. Let it go. Lean forward, pull those arms back, and if one arm's not firing as much as the other, just put a little more attention on the one that's not firing, and then it'll work a little better. Stay with it. So the appendix also regulates the health of our cartilage throughout our body. We have a lot of cartilage in our rib cage. Okay. All right, shake that out a little bit. See what you notice. If you wear backpacks or shoulder bags, this is a great stretch to do to take tension out of your neck. Back to thymus. Okay, tuck those toes under. Forearms down. Palms up. Sit back and drive those arms forward. Can you feel the increase in force? My knees are coming off the ground a little bit. Keep those ribs up. Stay with it. Breathing in and out through our nose. And where does your attention go? You might find you're repositioning your arms almost after every repetition. You could try the arms closer together or a little wider. I tend to tense up my hands and wrists, so I want to take the tension out of there when I notice that, so I can generate more force in the bigger muscles that we're focusing on and stretching here. Stay with it. Okay. All right, shake that out a little bit. See what you notice. And let's go back to do a set of bladders on the mat here. Back outside of the leg. And you can stand like we were if you want. But I'll be on the right knee, left leg forward. It's a fixed leg, so you don't want it too straight or you don't want it too bent for this one. Somewhere in between. Again, the leg wants to turn out a little bit. Pull the heel back as we fold forward. Spend a moment in that start position, pulling your heel back. Get those ribs in, square your hips, tuck your tailbone, and stay with it. Breathing in and out through your nose. So in this position, as in most positions with the leg, you want to keep everything quiet. Really, ideally, the only thing lengthening primarily is the target muscle. So the tendency is as you fold forward, those hips come forward. As you fold forward, those hips come forward. Keep the hips where they are, and you'll notice the resistive force increases. Now, whenever the resistive force increases, like you find a new position, you have more force, it's natural to have less range of motion. So don't worry about trying to go all the way down. You'll notice that when the resistance wanes, the stretch is over. The only time the tissue changes the way we want it to is through resistive force. Keep pulling the heel back and then let it go. Because at one point, you're not going to be able to generate resistance, and that's where injuries occur, like in traditional stretching. All you're really doing is creating micro tears in the tissue, in your muscles and tendons, which... Okay, I got muted. Something happened. Oh, how did that happen? Sorry about that. All right, let's switch legs. We're going to do it on the other leg, lateral hamstring. So get in a nice comfortable position. Slight bend in your knee, turn that leg out a little bit and pull your heel back. Pull your heel back as you fold forward. And it's common when you're doing one side and then the other to have different feelings, different levels of resistance, different breathing patterns. So just pay attention to that. For instance, on this right leg, I can feel much more sensation. So that means I'm not in the right position. Pull your heel back, let it go. So I basically have to have the foot almost straight up and down to get the lateral hamstring, find that resistive force that I want to be able to generate, let it go. And again, the lateral hamstring, all three hamstrings in the back attached to the same spot of the hip on the back upper part of the leg here. But the lateral hamstring comes down and attaches just on the outside below the knee, while the central and medial hamstring attaches inside. So one of the cues that you're on the right muscle group is that you're feeling, now you may feel the other ones too, but primarily you want the lateral hamstring. Pull that heel back, stay with it, and let it go. You might want to change the angle of your knee. Maybe shorten it up a little bit to create a little more force. Keep those hips quiet and keep them back while you fold forward. Let's do a couple more. Stay with it. Stay with it. Okay. All right, let's check it out. See how your body feels looser in the hips, a little more relaxed. Feet are nice and soft.